Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's talk about fasting. Yes, would you ever have thought it? Well, I'm going to give you some suggestions on what it can do, how it can help, and why we should all be doing it. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Sally Jack's TV Mom, and my YouTube channel is about a whole host of things. So I've been on television and radio now presenting for it's got to be around about 15 years, 13 years actually in live television. And I set up my YouTube channel a few years ago, and I wanted it to be purely about lifestyle. So it includes fashion, which obviously I've studied for and I've done a lot on television, also beauty, but also health. So if you've not seen my stories about my severe iron deficiency and what I went through, because I now publicly speak about it all over the world, then if that interests you, then you will so get into those vlogs. But at the same time, what I've also done is taken myself on a masterclass in nutrition. And so I've looked into a lot of the gut and brain health. I follow a lot of people to do with nutrition, and I'm really into it. And I know actually today, which is very, very strange, quite a few people have messaged me saying, Sally, if you're up and going with your YouTube channel again, because I've been a little bit quiet over the last year, but I'm back up and running with it. If you're going to be back up and running with YouTube, can you do a little bit more about health? And I was already doing this today anyway, so welcome. So what I want to talk to you about is fasting. So first and foremost is that this is not for anybody that's had an eating disorder in the past. And if you've got any ongoing concerns, you obviously... That's my dog banging. If you've got any ongoing concerns, you obviously need to go and see your GP. And if you're on any medication long term, then that obviously needs to be discussed as well. Really, if you're starting anything that's a little bit different due to exercise or anything like that, then whoever's talking to you, apart from your GP, must state that you must go and see somebody. So that's that out the way, because obviously I don't want you to do anything that you shouldn't be doing. Can you hear him? I'll just go and check. So I really should have told you about this quite a while ago, but one thing led to another last year. It's been quite a stressful 12 months, but I won't go into it because a lot of people have had a lot more stress than what I've had. So, but anyway, this all started for me, and I started to look into it a year last January. And I've been meaning to do a vlog on it, but never got round to it. So anyway, I've got a lot more information, so I'm going to try and jam pack it into this. So I've been doing fasting now for over a year, not fasting continuously over a year because I won't be here, but I've been fasting for a year on and off. And there's so many things that it can help with, but you've got to do it properly. In this particular vlog, I'm going to be talking about a 24-hour fast. So giving up food for one full day, and you can do it. So I'll just explain, because there are ifs, buts and maybes of how you've got to go into it and how you've got to come out of it, and what mistakes you can make. So what are the huge advantages of fasting? So number one, which is the huge one, is weight loss. So it can actually help and contribute to weight loss. Not on long term, because of course you can't do this long term and then go back to eating as you were. That's not going to work. We all know that that isn't going to work. What you've got to do is start doing it on a kind of regular basis, but there's a caveat to that as well, which I will come into a little bit later. Number two is that it helps with inflammation in the body. So inflammation is very, very good, and we need inflammation in the body because it helps fight bacteria. If you've got a cut or something like that, inflammation goes to that area and it protects it. But if you've got chronic inflammation, which is long-term inflammation, then that's not good for the body. Obviously, with not being medically trained, I can't go into too much detail about it, but it's a breeding ground for a really nasty thing that nobody wants in their body. So you've got to be very careful that we don't have chronic inflammation in our body. And if we fast, it really does help with inflammation. And I know that for absolute fact, because I had an operation at Christmas, didn't do any fasting for around about, I think it was about 5 months, because I just wanted to do things normally, because that's what I was told to do, you know, just lead a normal life, and it wasn't going. And if anybody watched me on television, they will have heard me talk about that inflammation was absolutely driving me crackers. Anyway, I did a big fast, boom, the inflammation has gone. So that's really helped me. I can't say it's going to help you because obviously everybody's different. So it also helps inflammation. Now, depending on how long you do it for, your body goes into something called autophagy. Now, there is somebody that's actually won a Nobel Peace Prize for this. The Nobel Peace Prize was actually won in 2016 by a cell biologist called, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right, Yoshinoro Osumi. And basically he found that the cells were renewing and recycling themselves, the bad cells, because the good cells were coming along when you went into autophagy, and they were recycling, renewing those bad cells, and it actually slows down the aging process. So it's really, really interesting, is autophagy. When you go into autophagy, so when you fasted for a certain period of time, some people hit it within 16 hours, some people it can take over 48 hours. Remember, this particular vlog I'm doing is just 24 hours. But autophagy, so imagine this is the kind of scenario that I see it at. You've got bad cell and good cell. And what happens is these good cells react to the bad cells in autophagy, and they kind of recycle and renew them and use them for energy. So it's really good to help with those bad cells in the body. It also helps, as I've just said, with inflammation, with chronic inflammation, and also it helps with the gut health. And we all know that gut and brain health is connected. We're hearing more and more about this. I believe, obviously, mental health can come down to iron deficiency massively, and 50% of women are iron deficient. But the other thing is that we are leading such bad lives with our lifestyle, with junk food, etc. I am going to do another vlog on this because that's a whole new vlog on itself as well. So food is really, really, really important. What we're putting on our tummies, so it's in our guts, and what we're absorbing. So you are what you absorb. So this is what fasting is really good for. Also, it's really good for willpower and knowing your brain and reacting and making sure that you don't give up. So you've got to be quite strong when you're doing it as well. So I started, like I said, I started to do it a year last January. So what would my typical day involve? So I would get up in the morning, and I'd have eaten the night before, hopefully finished my dinner by about 7 o'clock, 2 hours before I've gone to bed, or 3 hours before I've gone to bed. But you've got to make sure that that last meal that you have, or even 2 days before, is not heavily with nasty carbs. So you've got two types of carbohydrates. You've got your complex carbohydrates, and you've got your refined carbohydrates. Your complex carbohydrates are your good ones. So that's your sweet potatoes, your fruit and vegetables, all the good stuff that comes out of the ground. It's normally ground up. So things like your tomatoes, your sweet potatoes, your carrots, your parsnips, your swedes, your cabbages, and things like that. If it's growing out of the ground, it's normally a carbohydrate in food, but that's a natural good carbohydrate to be taken. Then you've got your refined, which is your nasties. That's your white bread, even your brown bread. That's your things like your pasta and stuff like that, which is rubbish and it's man-made. So if you're eating that before you go into a fast, you won't be able to cope, because your body will go, oh, I need something, because it's using that glucose very, very quickly. And you're putting nasty fizzy drinks, all that kind of stuff laden with sugar, processed foods, which is like your refined carbohydrates, stuff that's like out of the packet and things like that. So please just remember that before you go into a fast, you must not have done that. And if you're used to eating sort of 4 to 6 meals a day, little meals a day, then you're going to struggle. So maybe do a little bit of a time. So what I do is I get up in the morning, my mindset is really good, make positive thinking, make sure you got a good podcast that you're listening to, or something that's, you know, really good for the mind, and you drink water. When you go to bed at night, you have lots of toxins in your body through the night. So what you want to do is flush those out. So a really good tip, and I've done this before, I've talked about a Japanese water ritual. I'll leave the link below. You really must think about what you are eating the night before, and obviously what you're drinking first thing in the morning. So water is the best way, preferably a little, maybe a little squeeze of lemon juice in there, and then that is going to clear out the toxins in your body. And obviously you're going to drink water throughout the day. You can drink something like green tea, and you can do black coffee if you want to. So if you imagine your fat cells, I'm going all over the place here, so I'm hoping you're taking this in. If you imagine your fat cells, this is your fat cell. When you put on weight, it expands. When you lose weight, it shrinks. The fat cells never go anywhere. They just grow and shrink. So as they're shrinking, that has got to go somewhere. And so 9 times out of 10, it comes out in your wee and your sweat in your body. So it's really important that obviously if you want that weight loss, that you make sure that you're drinking plenty, and drinking plenty first thing in the morning and then throughout the day. And then what you've got to do is just make sure that if you're feeding any kids, you've already set the meals, you've already got yourself sorted the night before. That's a top tip that I can give you. And you've just got to crack on with the day. Now, obviously, this is 24 hours. So if your last meal was at 6:30 at night, you can have a meal at 6:30 at night. But what do you break your fast with? You must break your fast with wholesome, good, proper food, not processed absolute garbage. So don't be tucking into a McDonald's or chocolate or fish and chips or fried food or anything like that, or a microwave meal. It must be something that's really good for your body. So I tend to break a fast with a salmon salad, and don't put sugar in your body and things like that. You must let your body get used to it and take all those nutrients in. So if you think about it, your body has gone into a fasting process for 24 hours and it goes, I need this. So it's going to take in and absorb everything that you're putting into your body. So make sure it is good. Now, there are longer fasts that you can do. And there's the intermittent fasting that you can do. But for this particular vlog, all I'm going to talk about and approach with you is that 24-hour fasting. So obviously, if you haven't got any medical conditions, if you're not on too much medication, and you can speak to your GP about it, I would absolutely highly recommend it. My husband is organic and he eats really well, but he eats a lot. He never ever thought that he could do it. He's now doing a 24-hour fast every single week. But you also need to mix it up a bit. So of course you're going to go into a calorie deficit. So therefore you should start noticing weight loss. Don't go splurging for the rest of the week though. And you could even do intermittent fasting, like a 16-8 or something like that, or a 14-10, depending on what you want to do, if you've ever looked into intermittent fasting. But this is a 24-hour fast. So Gary and I actually did it yesterday, because I tend to pick Tuesdays as my day. I don't know why. And I actually prefer working when I'm on a fast than being at home. I actually find that really works for me, because I don't tend to, want to eat as much. I don't have that food around me and my mind's occupied. So it really does work for me. Anyway, I hope that's helped. I hope that's given you an insight, because it is so good for you. And so many people go, no, but you're hearing more and more and more about it. But obviously I did start this a year ago. I will do a little bit more about it into intermittent fasting and into longer periods of fasting. But for now, I just want you, if you are starting off on this journey, I just want you to look at that 24-hour fasting. Obviously take into the conditions of whether you need to speak to your GP or not. But I think it could be really good and beneficial for all of us. I know that I've certainly noticed a difference with me, and how great it's been with me, and my husband has noticed the same as well. So give it a go. Make sure you write in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you, and give us a thumbs up please, and don't forget you can press that bell notification. It will notify you when the next vlog is available for you. And couldn't do my YouTube without you. I love you so much. You know I do. Those that are part of my social family and have been for years. If you haven't, then hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you with me. I do all sorts from lifestyle, as I've said in the beginning, and family, etc. But my health really mean a lot to me. So I hope that's helped. If you've got any comments that you can give any advice to anybody else, then don't forget this is a wonderful community where we can all talk amongst ourselves. So you can write in the comments section below. Thanks for watching as always, and I will see you on the next vlog. It might even be after you've done a 24-hour fast. Love you lots. See you in the next vlog.